What's going on, everybody? So, I just restarted this live on the last one. But, okay, so let's just say, let's just say that you wanted to buy a house. As I was saying, it's not as dramatically difficult as a lot of people might make it out to be, and it's really not that bad as a lot of gurus might say it is. Mind you, all of these gurus, every single guru own a house. Every single successful guru, they own a house. Grant Cardone, you know, Richard Kiyosaki. Everybody who's telling you, I said Robert Kiyosaki. Everybody who's telling you to not buy a house, they own a house. So like um, Guru, they own a house. And they may not have the house in their name, which is why they probably, which is one of the reasons why they like don't buy a house, because they might not have the house in their name, but they own the house. So they might own the house under anonymous LLC, or they might have the house under anonymous S corp, or whatever, but it's their house. So even though their name might not be on a deed and title, their corporation is, or the company or holding company or whatever they have is on the name of it. The house is still theirs. It's just their way of getting around the tax situation and creating protection for them in case somebody was to sue them, so that they wouldn't lose any of their homes or anything like that. But they all own a house, and they're giving a lot of people bad information for clicks, for likes. They give y'all bad information because they know that they're trying to, they say things to try to trigger an emotion, and they're pretty successful at it, which is why they're so successful, because they play on people's emotions. And so buying a house is not a bad thing. It's a good thing, and it's a great investment, which is why so many corporations are invested in housing, because it's a great investment. It's a great place to park your money. It's a great place to save. It's a great thing to use to save on taxes. It's a great thing to have um, as an asset. Let's just say you need to pull out some money. You need some money. You don't know where to get a loan. All of the banks are denying you. You can use your house to give you that loan. So having a house is a good thing. It's owning a house is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So I tell a lot of people who come to me who's looking for a rental home, and I ask them, I say, hey, have you considered buying? Because the process is not really all that difficult. It's not too hard. It's not too complicated when it comes to buying a home, because the process you go through with buying a home is very similar to that of renting a home. And out here in the DFW, hey, how's it going? How's it going, Tabitha? How's it going, Johns? How's it going? What's that? Pup guys are. I'm sorry if I messed your name up. How's it going, my man? How's it going? I'm good. I'm good. I'm awesome. How about yourself? Turkey. What's going on with Turkey? But yeah, the process out here in the DFW, the rental market is heavy, and you're going to run into a lot of competition when trying to get into a rental home, which is why the landlords or the property managers, they're not going to really want to negotiate with you when you want to come at them making statements like, hey, can I get a reduced, you know, monthly rent when I move in? Can the deposit be reduced to move in? They're not going to want to negotiate with you, because that day that you submit your application, they'd have already received about 5 or 6 other applications. BMW is a good car. I 100% agree with you. And I've had BMWs just about the entirety of my life. It wasn't until after I had a kid I stopped driving BMWs. But BMWs are excellent cars. I agree with you 1,000%. But buying a house, the process is pretty simple when you come negotiating, and when it comes to the money and stuff like that. So I'm just going to break it down, the pros and the cons between the two of them for you guys really quick. So when people come to me and they want to rent a home, A lot of times, what is required of them in order to get into that rental home is they're going to need they're going to need to make 3 times the rent. They're going to need to have stable work history, and they're going to need to be able to verify and show their proof of income. They may be required to show some bank statements or maybe a tax return. And everybody that's going to be moving into that house is going to be required to show identity proof. Everybody who's 18 and older. And very similar situation happens when you go to apply for a pre-approval for a home. You're going to need to show your tax returns. You're going to need to show your proof of income. You're going to need to show that you make a good amount of money to be able to afford the loan that they're going to give to you for you to purchase that home. And so let's just say out here in the DFW, typical 3 bedroom, 2 bath home, it's going to go for about $2,000 in a okay neighborhood. So that's $2,000 a month, right? And mind you, we also want to take into consideration that people that's renting the home, they're renting the home from someone who owns the home. So that person has a mortgage. I mean, that's one thing to consider. That's the first thing to consider at first. So, in order to get into that home, you're going to need your first month's rent, which is going to be about that $2,000. Then you're going to need a deposit. Rental homes, their deposit is the equivalent of a first month's rent. So, a first full month's rent. So you got 2,000 for your first month's rent. You got 2,000 for your deposit. We're $4,000 in right now. Okay. Now let's just say you want to move in. You don't want to move in on the first of the month. You want to move in. You want to get your keys about a week before the first of the month because you want to start moving your stuff from the place that you're already at. So just throwing a ballpark number out there. They're going to prorate that rent for the time, that extra week that you need before the first. So now we're talking about maybe possibly just throwing out a number here. A quarter of $2,000 is 500 because typically it's 4 weeks in a month. So now we're looking at $4,500 to move it. Okay, now we also got to factor in the application fee. Let's just say the application is $75, right? So we have 2 adults moving in. We'll make it even easier. The application is $50, which is not uncommon, but that's still on the lower end. But we have 2 adults moving in, so everybody over the age of 18 need to submit an application. So that's another $100 right there. So now we're $4,600 in. Now there may be an administration fee. The administration fee might be $250. Now you see where I'm going here? We're looking at we're looking at we get into the ballpark of almost 5 grand in order to move into a rental house. A rental house, a house that you're going to be paying somebody else who owns. You're going to be paying their mortgage. You're going to be paying their taxes. You're paying their mortgage. You're paying their taxes. You're paying their insurance because they own the house and you don't own a house. You're building them equity. You're giving money. You're giving them money that they can borrow from for free. You're giving them money for free. So, the flip side of that, when we talk about owning a house, talk about purchasing a house, there are a bunch of loans out here in the DFW that you can get into a home with zero money down, no money out of pocket. You can get into the home with no money down, zero money down. Okay, we talking about we got $5,000 to work with, zero money down, and work with a good realtor like myself. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but work with a good realtor. We can negotiate the closing costs. Where's the seller be paying those closing costs? You see where I'm going here? So you might have to pay an earnest, deposit, give about $1,000 for your earnest money. And all earnest money is, it just says that, hey, I am serious about this house. I want this house. And the earnest money is going to go to the house. I'm serious about this house. I want this house. I'm making an offer on it. That's all earnest money really is. And so you give your $1,000 for your earnest money. Now you got $4,000 to work with. Remember, we had $5,000. We was talking about $5,000 with getting into a rental home, but we're just talking about $5,000 with getting into a home that we own. So now we get the $1,000 earnest money. We got $4,000 to play with, right? And so closing costs. If the realtor can't negotiate all the closing costs to be settled, maybe you can throw that $4,000 at the rest of that closing costs. But on the flip side of that, even if you have to put that $4,000 to the rest of that closing costs, you own the home now. Instead of being a renter and having a lease that might go up on you when you go to renew that lease next year, now you own the home. And you don't have to pay that mortgage as soon as you move in because you get a grace period. You get a grace period after you get that home. You don't have to pay that mortgage for that first month. And so you get a little bit of time to kind of like recuperate. And so instead of spending $5,000 to get into a rental house, which you won't own, you can spend that $5,000 to get into a home that you actually will own. And now you can take advantage of the tax benefits. You can take advantage of building equity. You can take advantage of the home appreciating in value over time. You can take advantage of being able to pull out of that equity. So let's just say you purchased a home at say you purchased a home at $300,000, but the home has been reappraised at a value of $320,000. You can pull about 75% of that money back out if you wanted to, you know, because that's just taking advantage of being able to be a homeowner. You can paint the walls whatever color you want to without having to run it through your landlord first, who a lot of chances will deny you on changing the color on the walls. You can go ahead and do a full gut job on a house if you don't like what's going on with it. It's your house. It's your house. You own it. So it's the benefits of owning a home over renting a home, and it's not that difficult to get into a home that you will own. Now, I was doing an open house here at this home that I'm currently at, and I am going to be here for the next 15 minutes before I wrap it up. And this home is currently for sale. We are out here in Forney, Texas. Show you the kitchen a little bit. We're out here in Forney, Texas at 2101 Long Forest Road. And this home is currently listed at $345,000. The owners are looking to relocate. Neighborhood is it's a great neighborhood. There's a 35-acre fishing lake, fully stocked. It has a pier on it and everything. There's tons of walking trails, swimming pools, multiple swimming pools, fitness center here. This is a place that you come to. This is a place that you purchase if you wanted to get away from the city, but you didn't want to be too far from the city. Because mind you, this home is only about 30 minutes from downtown Dallas. So if you wanted to be in the city, in the activities, a part of the nightlife, a part of the fun, and then you want to retire home for the evening, or retire home for the day, or retire home for the week, and the weekends partying down, you're not too far from it. You can get to downtown Dallas in about 30 minutes. Today, I got here from downtown Dallas in 24 minutes. So you're not too far. You're not too far from all the action. They have a lot of play areas for kids if you got kids. Dog park if you got a dog. There's besides the dog parks, there's plenty of parks that you can walk your dog at because there's regular parks. They have forest wooded areas. They have a lot of cool things going on out here. Not too far from tons of restaurants and shopping. Walmart is only about 15 minutes away. I want to go ahead and give you guys a walkthrough tour of this house really quick, so you guys see all that I'm talking about. We're gonna start from outside. So start from outside. As you can see, it's a pretty quiet neighborhood. The neighbors right there next door, they're working on selling their home too. So they're doing some remodeling to it. So here we go. And it's just under a quarter of an acre at 2,681 square feet. It has a guest suite. I mean, it's a pretty cool home. So let's walk through this home really quick. There we go. Call it closed. Call it closed with the Cole Home team. So let's walk through this home really quick. Walking through the home. When we walk in, we have a nice spacious entrance. It's a nice spacious entrance. And it's open like right there for me. So it's ready. So as soon as I wake up, I'm good to go with it. I mean, look at that guy. My my team lead, Mandy, from the Cole Home team, she sent me to get some, and I think they came out pretty well. I'm waiting to get them back from the artist. There we go. All right, we're all locked up. The house that is. The house is all locked up. Now we gotta go and rally up all of our signs. Rally up our signs. We had some traffic today. Not as much traffic as I anticipated, but there was some traffic. Oh, I think I seen a nail in my tire. That's not good. All right. Man, doing these open houses, they're fun. They're so fun. You get to be in like beautiful homes and talk about the homes and share your experience about the homes, people, and yeah. I'm telling you guys, find yourselves your dream job. Do it. Then you find meaning in life.